Hello Internet, welcome back to our ToME series, playing as our Dwarf Berserker. In the last episode, we continued exploring the Old Forest while I explained about my recording issues. Ran into a huge batch of ants and bees, which is not great, and we're about to engage this skeletal mage. Oh, you're right there, huh? Stunning blow and bump attack. I really thought you'd be scarier than that. Shielding rune of the warrior. That looks new. I don't think we've seen a shielding rune. Some people say runes. I don't. Instantaneous. Activate the rune to create a protective shield absorbing at most 182 damage for 4 turns. Effects scale with strength. So it is the type of rune that we would want in that it scales with our strength. It's also a instant ability, which I would like to have more instant abilities on this character. However, 182 doesn't seem like that much. We have taken 60 or 80 damage at a clip before. I mean, I guess that is the high end. It would shield us from basically all damage for at least a turn or two, which can maybe be the difference between us getting up to a caster character, a caster unit, or a ranged unit. Could really make the difference. I don't think we want this at the moment. I like having a flat and massive heal, which is what our healing infusion does. Oops. I like that we have the regen ability, which is a heal over time when it's less pressing that we use this. And I really like having something to cleanse us of trouble. Now, unfortunately, so far, and it reduces damage by 17% for 5 turns. I didn't really realize that. So far, this ability has not really been working for us. It hasn't really been removing the effects we want them to, but that's because effects often come in pairs or threes, which is not great. What did this right-click menu? So we can't auto-use at a certain health. I was thinking we could set it, and so anytime we hit like 30% health, we would instant use this ability. That does not look to be possible. My display is blinking, which is really bad because it means I'm going to mess up my recording, or it's going to be blinking this entire time, because if I unplug my display, it will reset my recording. And if I don't reset my display, it's going to continually blink. For me, it shouldn't be blinking for you, but for me, God forbid my computer cooperate. Now we got more infusions that none of them seem that great. 300% move speed for 1 turn. We've seen this one before, and it just does not appeal to me. It is interesting to see newer ones, like the infusion Insidious Poison we have not seen before. 15 damage. A bolt dealing 15.43. What does it scale with? Obviously something we're not good at. Can be used to inscribe your skin with the infusion. Movement I don't care about. Biting Gale. Activate this rune to direct a cone of chilling storm wind, doing 82 damage. Soak enemies hit, reducing their resistances. I mean, that seems really good. And it scales with strength. I think, though, we're going to get talents that allow us to do some of these things, like a cone of, I think even, isn't our cone ability isn't it cold as well? Where's the shout? Shattering shout? No, it's not cold. But we're going to get some more utility in cones and things. I don't think that that's really something we want to spend infusion on. I really do think, as a melee character, we should be 100% focused on regaining health, and then this should be a cleanse or a shield ability of some kind. Because our entire existence is run up to the enemy and beat them in the face. And anything that facilitates that, anything that lets us soak damage on the way, or regain health that we lose during that initial charge, is super valuable. So I think I like where we're at right now with infusions and things. I'm not keen on giving something up for an offensive ability. We have enough offensive abilities, and we're going to continually unlock offensive abilities because we are a berserker. So I really do think shielding and health is the way to go. We should be auto exploring. I think we're about done. Oh, I didn't even see you, Crystal. Did we kill a boss here and I wasn't paying attention? Did I not pick it up? Spell crystal? I don't see a spell crystal. I'm confused. It gave me a pop-up and I didn't really read it because I thought it was just an item. Okay. Sorry about that. You have the benefit of watching this as a video, so you can go back and see what it said. But I didn't really see it. I thought it was an item that we were going to pick up. 41 Alchemist Agate? Oh, here it is. Crystal Focus. Is that what we just picked up? Used to combine with a weapon, makes a non-enchanted weapon into an artifact. That seems not good. Because we're finding plenty of artifacts. And we don't want to boost. Basically, it's saying we can take a gray item that has no enchantments and enchant them. And it's a gem. +5 magic and plus damage, which would be good. But not for me. I don't really understand how this works. Costing 1 power out of 1. Is it repeatable? Like, can it be reused multiple times? Turns a basic weapon into a non-enchanted, or into an artifact, presumably with the stats and damage that are listed here. Or maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. I don't care, actually, because it's exclusively spell power stuff, which we're not interested in. And we will just continue looking around. It's gold, though. Why is it gold if it's not? I don't know. Let's, we're going to be heading to the next area. This is a much deeper forest than I expected. I thought we would be there by now. This is something else I noticed while I was waiting to start my game again, which I will show you as soon as we get to a more well-lit area. My dogs are barking at nothing. I apologize. Illuvia, the gigantic sandworm tunneler. Ground shakes as this huge worm burrows towards you. Gigantic mouth, just as capable of devouring flesh as stone. It has the Gestalt ability. I don't know what that does. And it is rare. It looked like a boss mob. I can't really see its sprite. I do wish this game had a zoom in and zoom out the way Cataclysm does. Thing I wanted to point out that I realized between episodes is that the trees move. If you look closely, I don't think you'd be able to see it on mobile, but the trees are swaying back and forth. And I don't know if that is because this is like a living forest where some of the trees are alive, or if that occurs everywhere that there are trees. But I think that is a fantastic little detail, and I think things like that really improve games. I think little stuff that you don't really notice at first, but you notice later, it always feels good to find those kind of things. So we hit it, unfortunately, only for 25 damage, despite using our ability. Stunned for 2 turns. Are you stunned? Stunned and off balance. That's great. We'll confuse you as well. And then we will... Is there any added benefit to a cleave? Just no. Just damage. Okay, we'll hit it. And then once it regains its footing and whatnot, we will pop our defensive abilities. And then we will just bump attack it. You're unable to move. Wish my dog would stop barking at nothing, because... Okay, excuse me a moment. Sorry about that. My one dog is just aggressive barker. She barks all the time. And it's super frustrating because there is literally never anyone that she is barking at. It's always she hears a door close, you know, across the street, or someone down the block makes a little bit of noise, or a dog barks in the distance, and she loses her freaking mind. War Axe, unfortunately, is a one-handed weapon, so we're not even going to look at it because we need a two-handed weapon in order to activate this ability. I imagine that applies for many abilities. In fact, if we look in our character screen... Oh my god, why can't I click this button? What is up with that? If we look at our character screen, the Stunning Blow and the Cleave both require two-handed because they are two-handed abilities. So we really don't want to shift away from that because these are our two primary damage dealers. And the Stunning Blow also gives utility in that we stun the enemy. So I'm expecting a boss here soon, but we keep getting these names that aren't really interesting to me. It has throwing knives. Little also just don't like that the animals can have throwing knives. I really dislike that. I think we killed that ant by virtue of our defensive armor. This may be the boss, Wrathroot. He is a male. The ancient gray willow tree, ruler of the old forest. He despises trespassers in his territory. So that is certainly the boss. He is level 15. We are level 11. Has 1,000 hit points, which is not great. It will depend on his armor, how well we fare against him. We are confused. We're going to pop our infusion, which also increases our defense. It didn't actually help us, but we're going to continue trying to cleave him as long as we... So we didn't kill that animal, so unfortunately they're both going to be hitting us at the same time, which is frustrating. We will confuse them, we will stunning blow, and then we will shift to bump attacks for the time being. Actually looks like a pushover. Into the Darkness updated our quest, which was Into the Darkness. Explore the old forest and vanquished Wrathroot. So we are clearing this out. And I'm guessing that's the final boss in the area. We'll, of course, will clear out the remains of this. Wrathroot's Barkwood, a Barkwood of Wrathroot made into the shape of a shield. I kind of figured that's what it was. We are confused again. Getting a little tired of being confused all the time. We will take the shield because it's yellow and probably worth a fair chunk of money. We'll take the leather armor, but we're not going to wear it. And we are over encumbered, so we're going to be dropping some things to make room. Most of these light blues are not worth very much, so we will drop. Probably shouldn't drop the cloth items. Should probably drop the heavier stuff. So blues, a great sword. We already have a good two-handed weapon. We don't need all of these. There's a B. We will pick up the Splendor Whisper Iron Mace. Unfortunately, we're really not finding two-handed weapons. And it's starting to hurt because we are very much dependent on our weapon. Now, we do have a good weapon, but it's one of those things that as a melee class, you always want to be upgrading your weapon. It's that simple. Same with armor. The more you upgrade, the more viable you are. If you are a tank or a melee DPS in any game and you don't have good armor, you're basically worthless. Lore found on adventuring. I must say, as time grows, I feel so do I grow more. That's a terrible sentence. I must say, as time grows, I feel so do I grow more and more inclined to distance myself from the calling of an adventurer, like so many you can find roaming the countryside. I feel like the myth of a wandering hero has blinded too many with promises of easy fame and riches, with no eye for the other kind of fortune. Hear me out on this. Nowadays, most don't really recognize how fascinating the world we live in truly is. It is vast, more than you can imagine. I can safely promise any wild thought that you can muster up, dear reader, will not even come close to the truth. Such is the breadth of wonders, I would probably dismiss most of what I have seen as myth, be it I not there myself. I hate the language in this particular thing. Just multiple sentences that are confusing to read, especially out loud. And even then, sometimes I had to wonder whether I could trust my eyes. Perhaps I'm being too vague, or maybe these promises leave much to be desired. After all, adventuring is not all fun and exotics. It is before all danger and a constant threat of death or worse. So then, if you wish me to be more concrete, think of derelict, crumbling crypts, cults and demons, hungry forests full of monsters, and forces beyond time and place. True, there is overwhelming awe, thrill even, but the reason that so little detail reaches you is because so little lived to tell. What does reach us then are not people but objects, artifacts of great power, legacy of the past. Surely any drunkard might like to tell tales after a pint or two, but a magical sword is a proof of its own, and it keeps quiet of what it has seen. So, a great hero is usually easy to recognize, being practically a walking history book, clad in half the age of important events which he probably has no idea about. I don't know what to make of this, the language in this one. It is important to remember that every artifact has a meaning, beings of great power and importance behind them, stories that now slowly wane into nothing. I hate the grammar. This is why I'm sorry to keep bringing it up. This is hard to read out loud. I don't like this at all. There should not be a comma there. There have been fragments throughout this. I just don't like it. This is why it is not artifacts that make an adventure. It is his great deeds, the will to care where nobody did before. It is not important if you get known in the process or not. After all, if you were truly great, maybe you will leave behind a legacy of your own. Yeah, hate that. Hate everything about it. And it raises more questions. Once again, if this is a world in which magic users are reviled, why is it okay for people to use artifacts and weapons that clearly have magical influence on them? Obviously, we're created by magic users in some capacity. Same with the infusions and runes. They're magical, so why don't people hate those and revile those? And then in addition to that, but there are natural creatures in the world that use magic, and so why is it negative if it's literally a part of the natural world? So I don't know the lore of ToME, but I am mostly confused by what is and is not acceptable. And we're obviously not a magic using class, but again, we have magical abilities. So I don't really know what to make of that. Oh, hello, whatever you are. Are you gnolls? Forest trolls. They have like the dog kobold head things that make me think of gnolls. Just more trolls. We've dealt with trolls before. We'll just cleave them to death. Give them a death in unison since they were stalking towards us in unison. We'll cleave everything. Looks pretty clear. Please don't make me read another lore thing. My throat's a little dry. I just don't want to read a bunch of stuff. Well, good. A journal page. Before I continue, I must make one thing clear. I am no great friend of the mages. Some powers simply were not meant for mortal hands or minds. As history has taught us time and again, from the sudden disappearance of the Shurtal to the spell blaze and the plagues it brought in its wake, magic is wont to cause more harm than good. But I fear it is a necessity for my current task. During my stay in Dearth, a fellow traveler and I have become fast friends, often drinking together in the local tavern. I can't put my finger on it, but I believe him to be a mage. He has an unexplainable feeling of power surrounding him, not to mention a rather ostentatious hat. I wonder what his thoughts would be on the art of water breathing. Like I suggested, get yourself a water breathing spell. Kill the rattlesnake, kill the other snake, kill the third snake, pop our healing, and kill the plants, because, there's the knit swarm or whatever they're called. No, it was an acid ant, apparently. Whatever. Just murder. We'll pop our regen as well, since we already popped the healer. And we'll come over here and just hang out until we've regained our health. And we'll go back this way because it's a little bit of a dead end. Man, it is hot today, and when it is hot, my brain stops working. You know, like me complaining about the English in that particular note. Maybe it was perfectly fine, and it's just my brain being fried by the 90-plus degree heat of the day, because God forbid it cool off at all. I actually saw my mortal enemy today. I don't know if I talked about that in the last episode or not. That great and horrendous creature that I try to avoid at all costs. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the sun. Because screw the sun, and I was out in the sun today. Not for very long, but when you're a pale inside kid, any amount of time is too long. Pick these up. Sun infusions, I could care less. Teleportation rune. Have we seen a teleportation rune yet? Let us find it in this list. Teleportation randomly teleports you in a range of 58 with a minimum range of 15. So it teleports us between 15 and 58 tiles, and it scales with dex, which is fine, and unlike some of the other ones, it does not change our stats in any way. It's just a simple teleport. I don't really think that that's for us. It's usually good to have an escape mechanism in some capacity, but honestly, with our charge ability, I feel like we have plenty of mobility to escape from fights. Maybe that's arrogant of me to think that we're okay. And obviously I do not know this game very well, but to me, I think we're okay. Did we explore all 4 of those? I feel like we did. Wolf, killed wolf. What is this? Robe, no. Infusion, sure. Let's get out of here. Oh, there's still more stuff? I thought we murdered everything. Anything special? No. Blighted soil. Did we explore up here? Yes. We did not explore here. I thought we hit all of these, but I guess not. We did get a topaz, so we did get a gem out of it. And then I think we're going to bail on the forest. Oh my goodness, there's more forest. The Lake of Nur, which presumably is where that secret entrance was. We don't have water breathing. Journal page. The Shurtol Fortress. The quest found notes from an explorer inside the old forest. He spoke about Shurtol ruins sunken below the surface of the Lake of Nur at the forest center. With one of the notes, there was a small gem that looks like a key. Journal entry, Old Forest, Chapter 5, Horror. This note seems hastily written and stained with blood and water. I haven't got long. The key is here, but the door. I was unprepared. The trees I could avoid. The water I traversed. But beyond, horrors, tentacles, blazing light that burned in an instant. My flesh devoured. My mind shattered. Worms, alive. Walking tog. I don't know what a tog is. Barely escaped, but my wounds are too... Blood won't stop. I thought the Shurtol were wonderful. I was entranced. Every facet of knowledge I could gain, but this is their legacy? Horrifying. All my dreams. Perhaps death is welcome now. If any come after, I bid you turn. Horrors. Too much. If you are foolish enough to... My only advice is to... You find with the note a tiny, faintly glowing orb. Is this the key the note mentions? So here's the problem with notes, and video games do this all the time, where they put notes that are being hastily written by people who are dying or people who are in an intense situation, who, for whatever ridiculous, completely absurd, not realistic reason, are writing down in the moment of their death these notes. Stop doing this, game developers. It doesn't make sense. You know, this guy is writing basically nonsense, right? So basically, what did we learn from that note? There's a gemstone key, and that's it. Something about his flesh falling off or whatever. The Shurtol not being as good as he thought they were. You've relayed basically no information from that note, and the only reason it exists is to kind of be dramatic and hint at things that aren't really, you don't really get knowledge about. Nobody on their deathbed who's struggling in and out of, common sense. Obviously, let's bring that back up. Old Forest 5. If we look here, no, this is not... Yes, this is it. This person is not expressing coherent sentences. They're offering fragmented pieces of information. Nobody who's in this state of mind, who's in such a broken mental state that they can't form a cohesive sentence, they're not going to stop and write 4 paragraphs worth of nonsense, right? They're dying, or his brain isn't working, and so he's forgotten that he should be writing things down. It just never makes sense to me. I was just playing Deus Ex, and they did the same thing. It was a hostage taker who literally wrote up to the moment that you walk in the room and shoot him, where he's having a panic attack and I don't know what to do. Nobody does this, and it really irks me when I see that in games. Maybe I'm too nitpicky. Maybe you're sitting there going just shut up, murder, and play the game, because you're an idiot and you don't know what you're talking about. So we do have breath, apparently. If you notice, a blue bar appears in the upper left portion of the screen. So we would need some sort of magical water breathing in order to access this location. And based on... I'm a little hesitant to head too far out here. Based on the notes that we've gotten, it seems like there are defense mechanisms. I'm just saying, if you're going to make a note where the character is dying, you could at least make them coherent. I thought it would be something, and it turned out it was something else, and I didn't expect it, and I'm pretty sure I'm dying, and I don't know how much longer I have, and all I can think to do is write this final journal entry, because I feel like there has to be some record. Once I'm gone, I'm gone. I need to warn people. And you can still be vague within that context, but it doesn't have to be nonsensical. And that really irks me when things are nonsensical, because it really doesn't help the player, and it's just it's just low quality. How do I get out of here? Use the stupid rod. Maybe I'm just complaining. Maybe you're sitting there going, Murder, get over it. You're just whining. But it's a huge pet peeve of mine when video games do that. Let's head back to town. We're going to sell off our crap. Go back to Dearth. That is the wrong button. Head into Dearth. Sell off our stuff. I don't really think there's any other quests. We obviously did not complete the Alchemist quest. So there's really no reason to go there. I don't know how many quests are in the game. Make sure our mouse cursor is on this side, and then we will just rapid sell everything. I mean, we could maybe save the shielding. We're just going to sell everything. I was going to say we can save the shielding infusion, but I don't think we will. And same with the crystal focus. I just don't see any value to us as the Alchemist agate. What's the problem? Why can't we sell this? Alchemist agate. When used as an alchemist bomb. Alchemist gem can be sold for money or used. It can't be sold for money. It sells for 0. What's the point of it? It's a gemstone that I can't sell. Presumably if I was an alchemist that would matter. Maybe we can take that to the guy in town. And we'll sell the crystal focus just because it's spell related and we're not using spell stuff. I guess maybe that was dumb. I still don't know the game. Leave. Okay, so what do I do with this gem? What's the point of this gem? Used as an alchemist bomb. Alchemist gem tier 1. Bomb damage plus 5%. Can we be an alchemist? Is alchemist a class? Gems can be sold for money. Just get rid of it. And we have 41 of them. I don't understand. For 0.02. So they do sell for something. No, they sell for 0.00, but 40 of them give 0.02. I don't care. Get it out of my inventory. I hate the fractions in this game as well. I do wish they had just gone with whole numbers for gold values, but that's not that big of a deal. It's just something that, I'm a little bit of a whiner. So, stride into this area without second thought while stifling a yawn. You feel your time would be better spent elsewhere. Yeah. What about you? You want to fight? Young man, a novice mage. Good day to you, traveler. Didn't he ask me for something? No, that's the guy. Hidden treasure. 3rd level of the Trollmire. Extremely dangerous. It was this one. Collect an artifact arcane powered item. Unfortunately, we forgot about that, and we probably could have completed that quest. 3rd level of the Trollmire. Can we jump to the 3rd level? Yes. Stroll through this zone. We've been here before. Stroll. And then we will look for the treasure. Hidden Trollmire treasure. Let's see if it gives us a warning. If it gives us a warning, we'll just run away. This way leads to the lair of a mighty troll. Traces of blood are everywhere. Are you sure? I mean, can I retreat if need be? We can retreat. You feel very confident walking into this place. So not nearly as dangerous as it implied. Actually, you know what? We're about at time. So I think we will call the episode here. Sorry I'm a complainer. It's kind of what I do. It's 90% of my life is complaining. I will try to stifle that down. I'll try to cool off a little as well. The heat is definitely making me irritable. And of course, I'll be back with more ToME content in the near future. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll be back. And I will see you in the next one.